What's going on, guys? This is the 5 Yard Pass podcast with me, Suri. This is Sham, and today we'll be talking about more Euro 2021 fixtures, starting with the England-Scotland game. England started off, obviously, we talked about the game already, brilliant win to start off their Euro 2021, first ever win in an opening game in a Euro, and it feels like the first ever win at any tournament. England played well in moments. They were much more cohesive than they've ever been, perhaps, and
Feels
you
like
could even
the
argue
first win at any tournament. What do you mean?
at a first opening game win at any time. It almost feels that way. There's a kind of
Yeah.
momentum, and it's not obviously that's not the real stat, but it feels that way. Scotland obviously losing 2-0 to Slovakia, with what we want to talk about first. An amazing goal by Patrick Schick, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
You wanted to talk about the goal. I mean, we've seen many halfway goals. There's many different ways people have scored halfway goals. One that sticks to mind, obviously, like Beck's back in '97 Wimbledon. I'm thinking of I think it was Javier Zanetti's goal against against Schalke in the Champions League when playing for Inter Milan. But this goal was special. Talk us through, man. And why was it so hard? Why was it so hard to save?
As a keeper, I generally would walk out to the edge of the box. So I'd be in my box, but I would be sort of roaming around the edge of the box if the ball was that high, Like I didn't see the need to be further forward than that. This keeper, I think it was Marshall, right? He was just
David Marshall, yeah.
Watch where he was. He was ahead of the D. So he was in quite an attacking position. And the striker, he commented after the game that he saw the keeper quite high up. I think it's the modern day keeper trying to be a bit higher, get involved in the play more.
Yeah.
It's just the opportunity was there. It was sort of a 50-50 and it sort of popped out to the Slovakian players who let it through for the who lent it to the striker, but he's just on halfway. He's just seen it, just thought, I'm gonna have a shot. And he's hit it beautifully.
Yeah.
Sometimes with those goals, like Ibrahimovic had a similar goal against England. Remember, he did a bicycle kick from near the boundary line.
Yeah.
It looped over the kick. But Hart, I think it was so out of position. And even then, he nearly got back. This was actually like a really, really well-weighted finish, which is not something you often say from a clip play, Like
something similar. Like coincidentally, something similar was Scott McTominay's goal against Man City at the start of the pandemic, the last game at Old Trafford.
Yeah, in the injury time,
because he put enough kind of curve away from the keeper, he couldn't kind of judge it coming down. And this was even better because he went higher and loopier, and the keeper kind of even fell into the back of his net.
Because Ederson was just slightly out of position with that one. Ederson, he was on the right side and threw it to the left, and he just missed the throw. But he was he obviously was in the box to be able to throw the ball, so he wasn't that far away from goal. And Mctominay curled it and just got enough elevation on it. So it was the weight of the shot. It's one thing to be opportunistic, but like he pretty much had to hit it perfectly, and he did. It was a really good win. Is it Slovakia or the Czech Republic?
It was Czech Republic win. Sorry.
Yeah, and they that's set them up because they're ahead of Croatia now. They could knock out Croatia, but Scotland have their backs against the wall, which is kind of where they like it, and they're going to be playing England, which is what they like. They've been away from tournaments for 24 years. For them to think, okay, we're coming back and we're going to be playing England. This is the exact thing they were hoping for.
All right, we'll move on to England, Scotland, which is on Friday. This is the kind of Liverpool United fixture, the Spurs Arsenal. This is a form goes out the window. This is going to be pure blood, sweat, and tears. Scotland likely to play a 3-4-3. They managed to get the best out of Robertson, playing him in a left wing position, I guess left wing back, kind of giving him free reign to do what he wants. They played decently against Czech Republic, but they just don't have the quality. People like McTominay get exposed in these kind of games where they don't have the likes of Rashford to pass to or Fred to support. And it was kind of exposed. England, on the other hand, complete opposite. It'd be hard to overlook Phillips, Mason Mount, Trippier, who played really well. It'd be hard to overlook any of those guys. In fact, I'd be questioning if Rashford should even play the next game, whether he should start, even if he didn't have an injury, because I thought the whole team played really well. However, I'd like to see maybe Henderson get some more minutes and maybe Grealish get a start as well. But what do you think?
I agree with those comments about the team. I think Trippier should come out as well. If they've got Shaw and Chilwell, I think one of them should get a gig for that left back slot. But yeah, I agree with your comments. Rashford didn't do badly, but he didn't really stand out. And Grealish did quite well in the pre-tournament friendlies. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I think as well, who was the other one? Jordan Henderson. It'd be hard to bring him in just because Calvin Phillips played so well. He's the obvious one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It might be worth, given it's, you know, given that it's Declan Rice. Declan Rice might be the one that would give way for Henderson. Um,
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with Declan Rice. He played really well as well. You could see Jordan Henderson. I don't see him starting, but I think he'll get some time in this game. I think his leadership will really come to the fore against Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Scotland
Who are you talking about? Sorry, Declan Rice.
Henderson. I think Henderson's leadership
Oh yeah, yeah.
against Scotland. Scotland will throw literally the kitchen sink at England at this game because if they
Mm-hmm.
lose, they're pretty much out, and it's England. So
Mm-hmm.
there will be moments where Scotland will be able to rattle England. And I made a comment in our last video about England, sort of all the handshaking and the high fives and all that. Like it seemed like they were trying to build some team spirit. It
Mm-hmm.
struck me that it's good that they're trying, but also that indicates a level of fragility. Scotland are the type of team that could take moments and take vigor from that and really have a go at England. And it'll be interesting to see how many hands are being shaken when there's a long ball into the box and five Scotsmen are throwing their heads at it. It'll be just that sort of. Scotland are more than a physical team, but I do think they have the ability to rattle England.
Yeah. We'll go to Scotland, but key players for Scotland, I guess, have to be McGinn plays for Villa, Scott McTominay, Robertson, and Christie up front. Who do you think? Do you think McTominay is someone who can perhaps, I guess, put on a performance this game? Do you think he's up for it? Because historically, he's been shown to be a big game player in the league. But again, that's because he's got a supporting cast around him. Same for this. Would he be rattled by the fact that he's playing against people he plays every week, or what do you
It's
think?
interesting how they use him because if you look at he's basically playing in a midfield three.
Mm-hmm.
So is he going to be playing as more of that eight, which I think number 8 is more of his natural position, that box to box,
Yeah.
covering every blade of grass. I think Scotland will be a bit more inclined than say Man United to release him and do that. He's actually
Mm-hmm.
quite a good interceptor of the ball and can feed off short passes to players.
Mm-hmm.
He's the type of player that could disrupt England's momentum. If they settle him into a number 6 and tell him to keep an eye on, say, whoever's number 10, so say Mason Mount, for example, that might stifle him more. But the ability just to put him up against Calvin Phillips, I think that's the way that Scotland should go. And
Yeah.
just say, look, that was the best player in their midfield. Go rattle him, son. And that's something that McTominay could do quite effectively. And Calvin Phillips was structurally very important to England.
Mm-hmm.
Walker didn't give a lot down the right flank. Trippier was really just sort of sending long balls over the top of the Croatian defence.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a matter of England trying to hold the midfield and make more progress down the wings. They did look at times quite narrow, particularly on the
Mm-hmm.
left. Sterling kept cutting in and then he had a right-footed fullback. I think they do need to try and stretch a bit more down the left. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
someone like Grealish could do that.
Yeah.
England, they don't have a lot of left-footed wingers, which is why I think they need to go to that fullback. And there was a theory that they'll bring in Trippier for the set pieces because he took a fair few set pieces. They might need to scrap that idea against Scotland. I think that
Mm-hmm.
just having the width in their play and having somebody who can whip crosses in. Harry Kane's is as good as anyone at headering from those situations, and then there'll be a whole bunch of plays with the second ball. So England might need to go that way. Scotland's going to have to try and force England wide, and I think that might suit Scotland playing 3-5-2, particularly having Robertson on the left and trying to create in wide areas and blocking the centre. Because England were actually very good in the centre against Croatia. Once they got the ball around Modric, they look very good.
I think that's the perfect case for letting Shaw get an appearance. Perhaps he felt defensively he needed Trippier against Croatia, definitely a much better team than Scotland, and then playing Shaw in this game where Shaw will run at them. It's perhaps a lesser opponent. I think he's going to look at these two games and see, maybe I'll try Chilwell in the next game, and we'll see how we go. Then you'll see one left back for the rest of the 2-3 games that they got to play. Because you do expect them to win this, and if they win this, they're virtually in the next round. So let's just coming back to Scotland. Andy Robertson gave maybe the performance of a lifetime because again, he's someone who doesn't have the supporting cast internationally the way Jordan Henderson would, or Virgil van Dijk would. Is he the best left back in the world at the moment?
It's hard to think of anyone who's better than him. Short in good form, but I think Robertson's a better player.
Yeah.
But apart from that, no one really stands out. Even Chelsea had, I think, who played for them in the Champions League? Even Man City have Zinchenko. Real Madrid has no left back. Jordi Alba's getting on a bit for Barcelona. So, yeah, you could make that argument that he is. And it's interesting. We talked a bit about Austria with Alaba sort of playing that creative centre back. I think in international football, because you don't have the ability to go into the transfer market to get players, try and create systems around a bit more around getting the best out of the individuals as opposed to creating systems and finding players for the systems. So I think that that ability to allow Robertson to roam is quite an important thing. And I think that Scotland might be suited to having someone attack down the right wing. And England might be suited to having someone attack down the right wing just to put some pressure on him defensively and see how Scotland respond to that. Scotland may try and pull that left centre back over to cover a bit more, but it'd be interesting to see how they respond with a direct winger, because England kind of had who was playing right wing in that game? A Foden who cuts in.
Left foot Foden.
Yeah, so maybe Foden goes left and Sterling goes right or something like that, and just tell Sterling to play, and they switch it and just try and stretch Scotland a bit, because that comes from the wide areas.
So we get straight to it. Scotland had a poor start. England had a good start. Wouldn't be the best. You've said how you think they're going to play. Give us a score, Sham, and give us how you think generally the game will flow, with not so much as tactics.
I think that I think it's going to be it will look a lot like a Premier League game. A lot of these players are Premier League players. I think that there's going to be a bit of blood and thunder. It's going to be a proper derby type game. It will be very stop-start, and I think it will be well fought. I do see a lot of goals. I think that we've seen in this tournament that teams are a bit cagey at the beginning, but they'll open up. And Scotland, particularly if they go behind, are just going to have to give everything they got. I think you're going to win. I'm thinking 3-1, but I'm thinking a late 3-1, not a halftime 3-1 on it.
I won't give a specific score because I kind of lean towards a 3-1, even a 4-1, but I think it's going to be England's chance to get a few goals, get a bit of confidence to score the goals, because 1-0 off a very good Sterling goal, the way it was worked. But you want to go into the last 16, the quarters, into thinking we can score 2 or 3 if you have to, because they're playing Portugal, Germany, or France, one of the three. England, if they win the group, or even if they come second. So they want to know that they go goal down, they're going to score 2, and I think they're going to score many goals here to kind of push themselves. I'm going to go 3-1 myself. And player of the match, or kind of person to watch. They call it star of the match now. That's what they call it.
I want to see how Tyrone Mings handles the physical battle. I really thought he played very well against Scotland, and I think it's a game where England's weakness is its centre backs, so they're going to try and put pressure on those guys. So I think he's someone to keep an eye on, and I would really love to see Jack Grealish start and see what he can do. I would say he's the player to watch, but I don't think he's going to start. So I'm going to go with Mings.
Yeah, I was going to go. I'm going to go with Shaw again. I think he'll start today, and I think he'll play really well. Any closing thoughts there?
No. It'll be a very exciting game. It's been a high quality tournament. Actually, it's been very exciting.
It actually has, surprisingly. I thought I kind of said at our first video, I think the quality will drop in players like. Well, the second part of the predictions, right? Players like Calvin Phillips will thrive off that, but the quality, I guess, the pace isn't there, but the quality is there. Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are the 5 Yard Pass podcast. My name is Suri. This is Sham. Keep football simple, and as always,
keep passing, guys. Cheers.